Alone we are weak. Together we are strong. Together we shall walk with our rights. As a family, in mutual trust and with responsibility.
Progress can only be achieved
if we are ever ready
to change ourselves, to change ourselves, to change ourselves.
We started our physical journey with the Kaizen Institute in the middle of 2007. We sort of thought, hey, this is a really competitive industry. It's getting tougher and tougher. In order to survive, we need to improve efficiencies, we need to improve our productivity, and ultimately reduce cost and improve profitability. We approached the Kaizen Institute and we started a pilot program, let's say the middle of 2007. And towards the end of 2008, we expanded it right across the group. And the model we came up with is what we call Patamu. We then said Patamu means Pamoja Tuangamize Muda. Muda is a Japanese word for waste. We linked it with Pamoja, which is together. Tuangamize is to eliminate.
The system believes in having small, focused improvement projects. They are called, we call them the GKWs.
And we put people in teams, and the teams work on these projects. And for every 6 to 12 weeks, depending on the phase they're at, these teams go into what we call a Gemba Kaizen workshop.
The Kaizen program has been running since May of 2007, and over that period to date, we've been we have 20 GKWs. In each of those GKWs, we have 9 teams practicing. Each of those 9 teams are 6 team members. So we are talking of about 50 employees in any single GKW.
And what we did when we started our journey was that we identified projects working with the Kaizen Institute that we wanted to work on. And on that, we basically built a foundation, which is on our core values. We have 6 core values, which we call living on the street.
Street stands for self-responsibility, respect, integrity, innovation, and teamwork.
We then said it's based on learning and development. And then the 6 pillars we have are 5S or 5K in Kiswahili and visual management, total productive maintenance, inventory management, supply chain management, total quality management, and safety, health, and environment. And those are our 6 pillars. All our 6 sites now are at different phases of their Patamu journey. There are so many things that have changed. We wouldn't be making the investment, particularly with consultants, dedicated Kaizen coordinators, we call them, people that manage the programs at the sites. We wouldn't be doing that if we weren't seeing the benefits.
Initially, the store looked like a dumping place. We had so much stock, mostly dead stock that was not moving, and it was not arranged. Feeds were not classified. We could find them, the minerals mixed with the feeds and all that. Those are total mix-up.
The stacks were very high, so it meant that somebody had to drop the bags down. And when the bags were coming down, they would hit the ground and sometimes break. And when they break, that was a physical, spillage down there, which we couldn't sell to the customer.
You cannot achieve anything if you have not organized your workplace. You only organize your workplace if you do 5K and visual management.
What happens is that you start out with the basics of where you're systematically sorting things out, cleaning the workspace, organizing, and getting the area to where you can actually now start to identify abnormalities.
Most of the time you find that you are visualizing the machine so that it is easy to inspect, easy to identify abnormalities. So we put all these perspectives so you can just inspect inside the machine.
We have little red tags, which anyone who is walking around the gemba, if you see anything which is abnormal or you hear any abnormal sound, then you just go and place that tag where you hear the abnormal sound, write down what you heard, and then the team which is working on that gemba will come to the tag, look at it, and get expertise help if they need it, and then that problem will be solved. We give ourselves a timeline of a maximum of 5 days for any problem that has been tagged to be solved.
So something else that we've also been able to implement is visual management in terms of safety signage, whereby if it's an area that requires people to use specific PPEs, we've emphasized where they should actually be used so that everyone is actually aware of the potential hazard within that certain area.
So if you have no accident, you're saying that your employees are 100% available for your work.
The effect of the 5K and visual management is that there's been a lot of improvement in terms of space utilization.
You can walk in the door, and if everything's nice and neat as it is here, everything's labeled, the place is clean, people have a perception that that must really be a good quality product. And they keep coming back because they like to do business with that type of company. And certainly Kaizen has put more focus on that than maybe was there in the past.
Total Productive Maintenance is learning to implement good planned maintenance programs with all your machinery and equipment, and also operators learning to operate and maintain their own equipment.
We have 2 lines, a Simon and a Mills plant, and we started on the Simon plant. The Simon plant is to break down every 48 hours. If a plant breaks down every 48 hours, every 2 days, that means 15 times you're repairing it. You're losing about 5 or 10 days of production. Currently, the maintenance crew come in on a Friday morning when we shut down for them to work and do their routine maintenance, and the rest of the week we don't expect a breakdown.
We didn't have enough maintenance people to go around the place to keep everything going, so people would wait for this machine to be fixed before the next machine got fixed.
It was very stressful. You are operating the plant maybe throughout the night until the morning, and by morning you find yourself that you had not met the projected milling capacity of 20 tons for the night shift.
Part of that breakdown was really caused by the fact that the guy who was operating the machine, his job, he thought, was just to operate the machine.
This time we have trained them. The operators, they are able now to change the screens, they are able to change even the beaters. They don't call us for those small jobs.
Before that, we were averaging about 100 metric tons per day. From 2009 onwards, we are averaging 360 metric tons per day. And you can easily do 400 metric tons a day. It's the same equipment, the same people. It's just understanding your process.
Inventory management is learning how to only keep enough inventory that you need. Basically, so you have a small safety stock, we call it, and then you have the stock you need, because inventory is tying up cash.
We used to run the mill because we have a space in the store to put. We would only stop because there is nowhere to stack materials. We also used to stack very high, and even some feeds used to expire in the store because we just produced and there is no market for it.
We now work off a 3-day inventory here. That's all we keep, and we use a Kanban system to trigger that. We have these cards that would go on the stock. When the stock is loaded on a lorry, that card goes back to production. Production now knows it needs to produce.
When you find that there are Kanban cards here, the person comes here, counts the cards, and does a calculation equivalent to the number of cards here, then does the batching according to what is on the Kanban board. We've managed to shift production planning from the plant manager onto the person doing the process operation here.
So we only produce to demand rather than forecast. The old way we did things in Unga was sales managers and people sat together every Monday and said, what do we guess we're going to sell? Now we don't do it off forecasting, it's off demand. Customer wants it, we make it.
Looking at various projects that have been carried out, like in terms of the engineering store, there has been a lot of reduction in terms of inventory. We were carrying a lot of inventory that we did not need.
We had obsolete materials. We had material that had been within the stores for the past 20, 30 years. What we currently need, we have identified, and we have put the maximum stocks of what we need. What we don't need to stock, we have also segregated, and once we are through with issuing that out, we never need to stock.
There has also been improvement in terms of the layout of the store. Before, there was a lot of search time in terms of you could not get a spare as fast as you needed it.
We introduced the index system of the stock, whereby we put all our items in the index such that we won't be wasting any time in searching. When you enter the store, you just go straight to the index and locate whatever item you need. It indicates exactly which board you have to locate the item and at what particular rack you will find that item. So that has reduced our search time from 3 minutes to around 30 seconds.
We have brought down the total inventory by about 11 million shillings. This is money that is now available to be put into other use rather than holding it in stocks that we do not need.
In Kaizen, you want to roll out your programs and manage your chain all the way from the customer up to the suppliers.
There was a need to understand the flow of material in and product out and to make that much more efficient.
This is what we were doing initially. Customers were taking quite long. They could come in the morning to place their orders and probably leave at 2 or 3, or at times maybe sleep over. Yeah, but things have changed. This is what we have currently. We've shortened the customer journey, but we still have a better plan. We want to serve them like within an hour.
Our customers are certainly happy. For one thing, we could never satisfy their demand prior to this. When we were making 180 tons and the demand is over 300 tons. So we had to ration what we give our customers. Now we don't ration. They come and get a full order, full and complete order, and they get it on time. Because we also schedule when they come to pick up. So when they come to pick up the products, they know 100% they're going to get them on time. So that alone is a big boost for us, that we can deliver what we promise our customers in terms of feed.
My opinion is of no importance. The only thing of importance
The reality at the Gamba. We shall improve it with teamwork.
Working at Unga is all about teamwork.
The biggest challenge you get when you're trying to implement Kaizen in an organization is that resistance to change. You know, Kaizen is about paradigm shifts.
The first thing the Kaizen Institute said to me was, Nick, there is no point embarking on this journey if you don't have top management commitment, top management commitment, top management commitment, top management commitment. And that was a challenge at the beginning because my finance people, my sales and marketing people, the non-production people said this is just a production thing.
None of the employees understood that Kaizen was actually part of their job.
So it was so rigid. Before we adapted, believe you me, it was hectic. It was bad.
This journey of continuing improvement is about everything, not just production and procurement. They didn't understand then how this helps you reduce your process, how you can improve service delivery to your customers.
And in many situations, change brings fear. And this is what happens. When Kaizen came, people didn't want to embrace it. They thought, oh, it's going to mess up our jobs.
I have almost doubled my production, but I have the same people here. No one has lost his job. In fact, we may have added 1 or 2.
We've learned you have to always do things to remind and reinforce, because if you don't, you step backwards.
We shall not lower our goals
to the level of our present abilities,
but raise our abilities to the height of our goals.
This place has a bright future. And as Kaizen goes to higher levels, this plant is going to attain the objective of the business, which is greater growth in profit.
The mere fact that we are this manual and can achieve those numbers is a testament to Kaizen. If you ask anyone anywhere in this world that we are producing 360 metric tons manually, you should look at the expression on their faces.
If you have to make a difference within your life, going forward in the future, Kaizen is the way to go. It actually becomes part of you. It becomes you and what you do every day. Yeah, you know, you look at things with another eye. We call it the Kaizen eye.
You don't just improve and again target to improve even more. You have to, there's a level of sustenance.
Our ultimate goal is to be a world-class producer of feeds, world-class. That is comparable to anyone, anywhere in this planet.